Welcome back to Love Nurture Faith featuring your Leo bestie. This is YLB Talks. I am so thankful that you are here and I am excited to talk about today's, topic. I told you guys last week, if you have been following along with me here on the podcast or still here from my YouTube, I told you guys that I wanted to bring the book club virtually. What I'm going to do, and it actually worked out so perfect. Like, that is a confirmation for you guys that you don't always have to have everything planned out. Just let things be and let it flow to see how it's going to happen. Because if you guys remember, last week I told you guys I think we're going to read the first 4 chapters. Like, I hadn't even started the book, and it worked out perfectly because the book is Get Out of Your Head. So I am bringing the book club virtually. So it's it's split into 3 parts. And I was like, that is so perfect. I can do it's actually first 6 chapters. And for those of you that want to get into reading and you're kind of scared to, or you're just kind of like, I don't have time for that, especially if you were someone that used to read a lot in like middle school, high school. That was me. I was terrified to get back into reading. I was like, I think the thing that scared me the most, I'll just get to like the end of it, is that I couldn't really get my thoughts in order, and just like thinking back and thinking of everything, like my journey and just everything that I have done for myself and my healing. I do think that this book might have been, or I'm not going to say might, it would have been helpful for me to read at the beginning of my journey. If you are trying to heal your mind. Let me say that. With the spirit part, which I told you guys, if you're following along, mind, body, spirit, I'm all about healing both, healing your mind and your body, and also healing your spirit. And I've mentioned on here The Alchemist. So The Alchemist is a book that I would recommend to you if you are starting your spirit healing journey. That is what I recommend for that type of beginner reading. If you're ready to start healing your soul or your spirit, I would start with The Alchemist. But if you're and that was me, right? So I guess that's what I was trying to get at, is that it worked out in the way it did, because I feel the books I started reading first were very much for my soul and for my spirit when I started reading more on my own. And with The Alchemist and with the book, with this one, Get Out of Your Head, is that I want to tell you guys, this is a good book to read if you are just getting into reading, because I do think that for many of us, a lot of us, we don't even realize how much overthinking we really do. And especially if you're at the beginning of your journey and you are someone that, if you are at the beginning of your journey, and I lost my thought there, guys. Hold on. And I'm not editing these, as I have mentioned to you guys. I'm just kind of in a phase of my life where I'm just allowing myself to be, and if I get nervous, it's because I get excited to start talking. So back to the book and everything. If you are someone that is starting in your healing journey and you landed on this podcast and you are someone that wants to heal more of your spirit, I'll go back to that. Go with The Alchemist. If you are someone that is looking to heal your mind and body, I believe this is a good start. Let's see if I change my mind though. Let's see, because I haven't finished the book. So maybe I shouldn't even tell you guys that yet. But the book is Get Out of Your Head. I did read the first 6 chapters. If you are someone that read it as well and is following along, the book club meeting is on Thursday the 11th. This Thursday, I'm going to say 2024 in case you're here from like 2035, I don't know. But if you are here from 2024, the present moment right now, the book club is Thursday the 11th, 2024. With the podcast, I'm just going to go through the sections, read, and give my opinion about these books. I think I've read a lot of self-help books, so I do think that now that I've read them, like a lot of them, I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to I see how they brought their uniqueness to it, because at the end of the day, I do feel like most self-help books say a lot of the same information. But it's a good thing. I do think that that's a really good thing, because your brain needs repetition. Your brain, in order for it to grasp something, in order for you to get a hold of something in your mind, you at least need to do it 3 times. If you are someone that tries one thing in one day and it's like, I didn't see results, so I stopped. You at least have to be consecutive for 3 days for it to start implementing it into your mind. And then to form a habit though, that one's going to be different. To form a habit, I think, if I'm right, let's Google this so I don't give you guys the wrong information. How many days for a habit? So between 18 to 254 days for a person to form a new habit. So just know that once you start getting into these books and everything, it's just going to take time. But that's all right, because time is all we have. Oh, so I am going to mention, I do think that it's for Christian readers, because she does mention herself being Christian, and she mentions a lot of, I feel, Christian beliefs. So if you are someone that religion or anything, feels some type of way about religion, it does mention God a lot, and it mentions it in a Christian belief. So I just want to add that. I was hesitant about picking it up because I'm a little hesitant on exactly what religion, having I guess a title type of thing, having a position in yes, I'm Catholic, yes, I'm this, yes, I'm that. Honestly, I just believe in everything. If that, I'll get more into that later on as we get to know each other more, friends. But yes, so it does mention God a lot, and I was hesitant to pick it up because I was I don't know. I was I don't want it to feel like I'm getting pulled into a religion. I personally don't like that. But again, that's why I'm saying these things, because you might be the person that does like it. So I'm trying to speak in the middle type of thing. So because it does talk about that, I was hesitant, and I talked to Snow. You guys know Snow. She's the co-host of Love, Nurture, Faith, and I sent her a message because she also is in the book club, and I asked her, I was like, read the back and tell me your feeling of it. Like, I want to know what you feel about it. And I was like, I'm not going to tell her anything. I just want to know the feel, because I do think that I told you guys we're like energy too, and everything is energy. I do feel like this book also is carrying a specific energy, and I made an assumption about this book, or I put a projection onto this book. And because I did that, I was like, well, I don't want to miss out on a good book just because of my perception. So I sent it to Diana whenever I'm feeling like I need some clarifying and some grounding. I'm like, Diana, where are you? I need you. So I sent her the book and I was like, hey, I'm going to send you the back. Let me know what you think. If you think it would feel too, what did I tell her? I think too religious, o algo así le dije. And she like sent it back. She's like, no, she's like, I really think it'd be a good one. Like, gave me her output, and I was like, okay, I just projected onto this book. Let's grab it. Let's get what we need from it and discuss it. Back to the spiel. So yes, we're gonna continue with this. Just start with a whole review. So I thought it was cute, like when I first opened the book and it says, "Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. This means it's possible." Hold it. Okay, back back to this. Sorry for the interruption there. But beginning, be transformed by the renewal of your mind. This means it's possible. I do love that. I do love the term renewal. I do think like everything needs renewed, like upgraded, like your phone needs upgraded, your like all these systems around us need upgraded. Like even our like cameras, like think of the history of cameras, how far that needed to upgrade. And I know I'm comparing like things to humans, but if you think about it in terms of energy, it's an energy update kind of type of thing. So think of it in a way of, or for me, I think of it in a way of a renewal. Like I'm renewing me, I'm renewing myself, I'm upgrading myself, like I'm making myself a better version of myself. So upgrade yourself. That's what it starts with, and then again, they are separated in parts. So with this one, we're going to do part one. It's titled All the Thoughts. I did take some notes because I wanted to do this. So I'm going to start with the first one, and it's, let's see, I also took my little notes. So the facts, oh, okay, so I wanted to discuss the facts about the brain. It does mention some on here, and I was like, wow, I want to mention those. Oh, I do like, first off, she was saying about how we think shapes how we live. And then she's talking about, sorry, I have to like rewind so you know that more. Okay, so here are some research topics that she found, and that are facts about the brain. So the first one is, did you know that more has been discovered about our minds in the last 20 years than in all the time before that? I love that because I remember when I first started going to my life coach, he mentioned that a lot of people don't and won't go to the self-help because it's just so new. It's a lot of the new parenting styles, and a lot of it was not taught up until a while. So it makes sense about all this, literally that last 20 years has been discovered more about the brain than ever. So just gets you to know, like, again, we need to just upgrade ourselves, upgrade these systems, upgrade our being, upgrade our being. Next fact, did you know that an estimated 60 to 80% of visits to primary care physicians have a stress-related component? Stress. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, guys, because I'm going to come back this week with an episode to continue about the root chakra, but keep that in mind. Stress. Did you know that research shows that 75 to 98% of mental, physical, and behavioral illness comes from one's thought life? And did you know that with what we know about the brain today, when scripture is talking about the heart, it really could be talking about the mind and the emotions we experience in our brain. So, wanted to share those little facts with you guys. Let's see. Page 9. So we know the brain, so we know the brain is constantly changing whether or not we intend it to. So again, we live a lot of our life and day to day is lived in our subconscious mind. So everything you're intaking, everything you're like putting in yourself, everybody you're near, everybody, like all these things are getting just implemented into your subconscious. So even if we intend to or not, like you were unconscious and you caught someone like biting their nails or something yesterday, now all of a sudden today you're biting your nails type of thing. Like just those unconscious things happen whether we want it to or not. So just remember that. I love how she said she has this little like table, and it says it starts with an emotion, and then the emotion spirals into a thought, and then the thought spirals into a behavior, and then the behavior goes into your relationships. From your relationships, then there's consequences. So I do love how she said that, because I've been trying to tell everybody about feeling their emotions on this channel, on this YouTube. Like, that is my main purpose of this, is to get out the message of feel your emotions, heal your emotions, heal your emotions. Let's see. So that's there. Page 14. I'm not even telling you guys the pages, sorry. So page 14 starts with 3. Oh, okay. This one I thought was it's titled "The Lies We Believe," and she said a licensed therapist tells me that psychiatry 101 teaches therapists that when you and I choose to believe a lie about ourselves, it's one of these 3 lies we believe. So either we believe that we're helpless, we're worthless, or I'm unlovable. Those are the 3 lies that we believe whenever we get to that emotional state. Something to that matter made that spiral start happening, which I thought was very interesting because it's very true. Page 16. Hold on, page 16. No. Oh, I wanted to add this in here because I think we'll get to start talking about that more, but I did want to add in here this one section. It says, no human is ever meant to be the person who fills our soul or holds in place our worth. I love that, because the more that you start realizing that you are the one that fills you and fills your cup, that no one outside of you is going to fill that cup for you, I think that's when you're like, okay, I need to just pour a little into myself. Pour a little into myself, because every single day is a new opportunity to grow, guys. Had to throw that in there. Page 12. Oh, I think that's 20. Let's see. Okay, so she did mention in here how she got to the point where she started doubting. She started doubting her marriage, started doubting her purpose, um, doubting the core of who she was. She started doubting the existence of God. And this is the part where she starts talking about how it started getting really heavy for her. It started getting really dark for her. And she's like, I got to the point where I was just like in doubt of everything. And she mentions prayer a lot. I do love that because I do believe in the power of a prayer. And I wanted, like, how do I say? I guess I just want to say that regardless of what you believe, if you don't believe, if you're whatever religion you are, I do think that even just praying or even just talking it out with yourself within your mind, like to the universe or to whatever you believe in, uh, but even that little prayer, like she starts talking about how that really helped her get out of her spiral, just by having faith. And you're here on Love Nurture Faith. You know why me and Diana are so big on having faith. 24. So page 24. So the danger of toxic thinking, it produces an alternative reality, one in which disordered reasoning actually seems to make sense. So that's the dangers of having these toxic thoughts, is that eventually you create an alternative reality, in which disordered reasoning, like the dysfunction seems to make sense. This part I was like, that is so true, because so many of my thoughts have made me create so many things that I was like, wait, is that even true? Like, can that even be possible? But it was just because my body and my mind weren't safe. Because my body didn't feel safe, my mind didn't feel that safety either. So I do think that when you are having all these thoughts, I do like how she ends up saying, like, it's a lot of people, it's a lot of, like, it's just the human mind, is what she tries to get at. And that's why she tries to explain that God in the Bible mentions a lot about healing the mind in its own. He doesn't refer it to the mind, but he refers it into a way where it can be translated. And if you translate it into the form of the mind, it makes sense of how many things were in the Bible to talk about us healing ourselves and us being able to heal our own body, spirit, mind. I do love that. I do love how she mentioned that a lot. Chapter number 4, page 32. Alone. I have a little song stuck in my head. I should play it for you guys. Speaking of the mind and its million thoughts, my friend Marlene showed me this song. Can you guys hear it? I want to. Oh, hold on. This is the part I have in my head. This part. That's the part I had stuck in my head right now that I started singing. So speaking of thoughts and getting out of your head, it happens all the time, guys. It happens all the time. She did speak about how she felt alone during these times when it was at the loneliest, her loneliest, she mentioned how she felt very alone and how it, hold on. Hold on, guys. I don't know which part this one was, so I'm gonna continue. Oh, I do want to say, so she mentions this important notice, and I actually wanted to read it because it's about mental health. And it says, you may live with low-grade sadness and have for as long as you can remember. Or maybe for you it's far worse than that. Two people in my life who love Jesus deeply are fighting regular desires to take their own lives. With the National Alliance on Mental Illness reporting that 1 in 5 adults experiences a mental health condition every year, it's safe to say that mental illness is rampant. If mental illness is a struggle you face, may I please wrap loving arms around you, look you in the eyes and whisper, this, your anxiety or depression or bipolar disorder or suicidal thoughts is not your fault. You may be suffering from a true chemical breakdown in your body. I get that. Several members of my family depend on medicine to help regulate their brain chemistry. Please help me. There is no shame in that choice. Praise God for tools that help. I just want you to know, please lean in close and hear this, that throughout this book, whenever I talk about God giving us a choice about how we think, I am not suggesting that you can think your way out of mental illness. I am not. I have experienced seasons of anxiety so brutal that I was paralyzed. There are seasons when we need help in the form of counseling and medicine, but I hope to show you in the coming pages that in every season there is help that we can access for ourselves. Learning to think a single thought can help us all. Those of us who struggle with mental illness and those of us who struggle are a different sort. I did want to read that because I thought it was so beautiful how she gave that advisory, because it is very, very important to take mental health and mental illness seriously. It's something that I think a lot of people don't really talk about, the seriousness of mental health, but I do think it's something that needs to be at the top of like a lot of things, because it is something that is very important to be able to take care of your own state of being, whether, again, how she said, with medicine or not, that is your choice, but just know that there is help for you out there. Next, my shirt keeps like dragging down because of the little thing. Page 39. So I'm on page 39 and she's talking about emotions. So the big picture here is this. We have chaotic thought lives. These thoughts often lead to wild emotions. True. Emotions that tell us how to behave. Those behaviors dramatically affect our relationships, continuing that downward spiral we looked at previously. What you're saying then is that how we think directly results in how we live. I love that. Page 43. Okay, so she's talking about, I love how she said that she started talking about her son and how when he starts spiraling, I love that she mentioned kids, because yes, kids happens to kids. Kids overthink. I don't know what the age is, but I do know that kids start overthinking too. It's not just adults, it's a lot in kids. So I love how she mentioned um, he's 10, so that tells you at least a 10-year-old is going to be spiraling down. So whenever he starts to spiral, his mind, body, and emotions keep going down and down. She's like, I work to help him redirect his thoughts. And she tells him, like, hey, time out, like, I love you, you're okay, you don't have to panic. You can choose another way, and you don't have to be steamrolled by this. And I tell my Cooper, is what she said, I tell Cooper what is real, and I tell Cooper what is true. I wanted to add that part in here because I know that Diana mentioned that she was a mom, and how she was able to help her daughter and is helping her daughter more with that. So by like assuring her a lot, and I just wanted to add that in here in honor of my Snow. Okay, so page 46. Oh, I wanted to add this too. So we're shifting to a whole new mindset. And with each shift, we will find ourselves growing more and more into the mind of Christ. I have an episode out on this on my YouTube channel where I talk about the consciousness. I don't remember the title of it, but I will link it down below, where I talk about that God of Christ consciousness. Go watch that because that was really like a hit in the stone. Last chapter 6, make the shift, which is the last part of the section. I wanted to add here how she said, or she mentions that she's like, how many of our many thoughts per day are positive and how many are negative? You will discover that 70% of our thoughts are negative. 70% of our thoughts. That is insane. Insane, guys. It's crazy. And then last part I did want to leave you guys with, and then last part of this, she does a mental story map. So what she does, step 1, so for step 1, you're gonna refer to the graph of needed. So I'm gonna put a picture here, like get it closer so you guys can see. So what she said is, right in the center of a blank page, the primary feeling or emotion you're experiencing right now. It could be good or bad. And then whatever it is, jot it down. Now draw a big circle around that word. And from there, write everything you can think of that is contributing to the feeling or emotion. Whatever you think is contributing to that. Step 2, talk to God about it. So she says pray. She talks a lot about writing stuff down, so journaling, if you are someone that needs to journal. Step number 3, look for patterns and common themes in your circles. Are you worried about things you cannot control? Are you angry about how you've been wronged? Has food, sex, entertainment, or money taken over your thoughts? Are you ashamed of what you've done in the past? If we want to stop our pattern of toxic thinking, we must notice what's happening and take action. Those are the 3 steps. And then again, she talks about the mind of Christ, which I really loved. And then she talks about the self-help world, how it kind of barely didn't start that long ago, talking about self-help. And then that was it. I do, again, how I said, I like the book so far. I didn't have anything really like negative about it, which is good, because my Virgo-ness tends to judge. But back to this. So I do hope that worked out in the best way. Part 2 and part 3 will probably have to be up soon, maybe back to back, because again, the book club is on Thursday if you want to join. Again, my name is Krystal. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you. And if you haven't, please subscribe or follow the podcast. And I will be back with part 2. And keep a lookout for that root chakra episode. I love you guys. I pray that you guys have a wonderful day, that have the day you deserve, and have a wonderful night. I love you, and remember to love yourself, nurture yourself, and have faith, guys. Bye.